Alien Isolation is a cult favourite among those who love getting scared in immersive video games, and we think we know why. Sevastopol. Faithful to the 1970s design, the Sevastopol feels almost real even today, with high attention to detail and jump scares that still make you scream like a small baby. Join us as we take you through why Sevastopol is so iconic. And if you enjoy what you see and hear today, make sure you like and subscribe to PCGamesN for more videos like this one. Heading into production, Creative Assembly faced a seemingly impossible challenge: to develop a good game set in 20th Century Fox's Alien universe. Envisioned and pitched to the big-budget Hollywood studio as an authentic entry into the film's series continuity, it was immediately clear that to succeed where so many others had failed, the team needed to go back to what originally made the Alien franchise, well, Alien. This meant poring over Ridley Scott's original 1979 classic over and over again. And from this ethos, Sevastopol Station was imagined. Any great horror game is only as good as its setting. Creative Assembly knew this, leading Alien Isolation's art director Jude Bond to carefully consider how an intergalactic trade vessel, such as Sevastopol Station, could snugly fit between the first and second film's continuity, all while still being thrilling to explore. He and his team pored over the original film and an archive of images from the set, going on to deconstruct it into meaningful chunks, and figuring out how they would be able to reassemble that world to work within the game. As if this multi-stage process wasn't enough, while walking the tightrope between faithful and practical, the art department had the game's namesake to contend with. You see, Alien Isolation's big new features served as the iconic xenomorph itself, programmed using an unpredictable AI algorithm that would see it actively stalk and act aggressively should you be seen. Despite these challenges, Sevastopol Station's meticulous attention to detail shines through, not least due to the noticeably lived-in feel which permeates much of the game's areas. It shares the USCSS Nostromo's knack for tight corridors, 70s lo-fi tech and grime, all while creating an aesthetic identity that makes you feel like you're peeking into a corner left previously unexplored in this universe. New additions like the Working Joes, Alien Isolation's artificial labourers, have almost a Terminator-like quality to them, providing subtle context for humanity's general hatred of synthetics as featured in the movies. 20th Century Fox had no qualms introducing new concepts in Alien Isolation after Creative Assembly proved it respected the IP. The team continuously asked themselves whether what they were making could have been made in 1979. If it couldn't, they binned it. With the authentic aesthetic and utilitarian layout of Sevastopol Station agreed upon, Creative Assembly set about making the freighter feel appropriately bleak, secluded, and, for all intents and purposes, a nightmare to traverse through. Players would have to contend with the titular alien, yes, but why stop there? Jude and his team were adamant that they could also set in a fair few scares through the ship's design alone. Undeniably, players' fear of weakness and the inevitability of death was a big driver behind this. This willingness for Creative Assembly to toy with anyone brave enough to work their way through the Sevastopol displays a confidence that proves invaluable when developing survival horror. And it's that first part of the genre equation which Alien Isolation took a leap to emphasize. Offering up only a handful of useful weapons, making you feel underpowered and underprepared, the game lived up to its promise of making players feel isolated while still sitting perfectly within the canon of Fox's original universe. For some people, this slavishness to the source material proved too taxing. Creative Assembly have heard from a lot of players that they couldn't finish the game because it was too scary. Today, the Sevastopol, much like the rest of Alien Isolation, sits comfortably amongst its peers as one of the most memorable locations to ever feature in a survival horror game. Not only does it smartly avoid the traps that have plagued most licensed games for 3 decades now, but it also faithfully adapts the aesthetic from the original film to create a setting that always serves atmosphere and tension first and foremost. Before Isolation came along, I'd have wagered that Dead Space's USG Ishimura was the leading haunted house in gaming. In Creative Assembly's retro sci-fi environments, however, it may just have met its match. It's a long flight out to the Sevastopol, so make sure you like and subscribe to PCGamesN so you have plenty of in-flight entertainment to keep you going. And please remember to ding that bell, for safety reasons.